So my name is Brett Lesperance. I'm the Director of Client Relations for Tribe Title Company in Brighton. Basically what we wanted to do, we wanted to start doing a podcast that allows us to kind of showcase realtors and other real estate related professions. It's just a chance to give us an angle to kind of help out the realtors. Obviously, our success relies solely upon realtors' success. So anything that we can do to give them the tools to get exposure, get their story out there, and help their business, in turn helps our business and the cycle of life.
That's a scary thought.
Right? So my guest today is Garrett McCraight. He's a realtor for Keller Williams Real Living in Brighton. And the reason I wanted to have him on is because I know Garrett outside of work, which makes it easier since this is our first podcast. And also, I just kind of like his story and his approach to things because he kind of reminds me of myself when I was younger. He doesn't really fit the mold, so to speak, of your typical realtor. But he finds success doing it the way he wants to do it, and that's kind of what it's all about. So my first question for you, Garrett, is why real estate?
I don't know. I've always been in sales. I think it's over a decade now. I think I'm coming on 12 years of sales. It wasn't always real estate. Real estate's just over 5 years. But, you know, being in sales, you always hear about the big commissions. And, you know, that was like the shiny object, make the big bucks. Then I got in and realized there's a little more work than I thought. But 5 years, and I still love it.
Awesome. Well, that's anything really, you know, going to be a lot more work than you see on the outside. I think that's what kind of reels a lot of people in, and then they get scared off when they realize how much work it actually is.
Yeah, cold calling, all that fun stuff.
Right. The thing I like about you, too, is everybody kind of defines success differently, and I think you and I kind of share the same vision on what success is. It's not necessarily becoming a millionaire or, you know, having this massive team or a multi-million-dollar house. It's more about finding enough money to live comfortably and to give you the options you want, but also to be able to do the things that you want to do in life, whether that be, you know, take time with your family,
that's what I was
just
about to say,
relax.
was time.
Yeah, so I think that we share kind of the same vision as far as what success is, but explain kind of what your idea of success is.
To me, it's time. My first 5 years in sales was 90 hours a week, and that was fine because I was, you know, between 19 to like 25. And but now I want my time back, especially having one kid and another on the way. That's time I'll never get back. I'd like to make my millions, and you know I wouldn't say that's out of the cards, but for right now, it's like that's not my main focus. My main focus is, you know, help enough people get into the homes they want, and in return, I make enough money and have enough time to spend it with who I like, and
right.
That's my family.
All right.
And sometimes you.
On a good day.
Yeah.
Cool. And the other thing I was going to ask you about too, because I don't know if a lot of people know this about you, but outside of work, the way you live is a little bit different as far as what you're doing for your family, which is going to give you in turn a lot of freedom financially. If you could kind of tell us a little bit about your house and what you're doing with that. So
we're what's the coin term? Barn-dominium. Yeah. Building a barn-dominium out in the middle of nowhere. It all started when COVID happened. It was me and my brother-in-law. He's never built a house, and I've never built a house. I sold a few. But we were locked down and couldn't do anything, and we're like, just build a barn-dominium close enough to where we can raise our kids together with my sister and him and me and my spouse. And it's coming up on 2 years now. We have built the entire thing with just us, just me and him. We got our own septic field, a well, everything you need, 220 volts. We will be moving in this weekend, actually.
That's awesome.
After this, I'm going to do some trim. But yeah, it's mainly just because after this is done, we'll have taxes and such, but mainly an electric bill.
Right. That's amazing.
So that way it's we can spend our time how we want to.
Yeah. That's the idea.
Save some money.
Right.
Kids aren't cheap.
No, they're not. I can attest to that. That's the other thing that fascinates me. I think it's really cool, especially at your age, that you kind of had the idea to do that, because a lot of people get into sales, and if they do find success, they start making a lot of money, and they typically spend quite a bit of that money. I know, for example, I lived out in Arizona right after '08, which is actually why we went out there, because we knew we could get a big house for not a lot of money, which was perfect for us. But we met a lot of people that lived out there through that, and a lot of them were in sales, mortgages, real estate, had a lot of success, but spent as much money as they made and thought it would always keep coming. And then a lot of them found themselves on extremely tough times and lost their homes and their boats and their cars. So the way you're doing it is kind of like Keller Williams always says, life by design. You're going to have a home, which how much do you have in debt with the house?
We financed the actual barn itself. Just we didn't have to, but we just figured why not, spare some money. But that even I'm like a couple grand from that being paid off. But I did do that before. I lived in California in my sales, and it was like every time I every time I got promoted, it was like a new house or a new vehicle.
Right.
And by the end of it, it was like we're spending $50,000 a year in rent, and I mean, and then too, once again, it's a single life,
right,
and younger, didn't have family, but now it's now time is more important to me. We can replace money,
right,
but we can't replace time. So,
and I don't know if you found this in your life. I find this in my life, but I'm well into my 40s now, so I've had a long time to make a lot of mistakes. But I always noticed where I always envisioned these things, these material things. If I had this car, if I could get to this car, or I could buy this boat, or live in this house, then my life's going to be great. And I'm going to, it's going to bring me all these happiness and joy that I thought it would bring. And the older I get, the more I realize once I get to that goal and I buy that thing, 9 times out of 10, it really doesn't bring me the enjoyment or make my life as smooth as I thought it would.
Happiness is a choice and a habit.
Right.
Yeah. Cause no, I had the things. And I had the money that was like you didn't care what you bought because you knew you could.
Right.
And I didn't feel any happier. Now it's more, I feel like, what do they say, mind, body, and soul.
Right.
So we're working on the body for the first time in 30 years. And
do you find that the working out and things like that, do you think that helps your mindset?
Absolutely. It's just a better way to start the day. Where before it was very unhealthy. Wake up, drink energy drinks. Used to smoke back then. I pack Newports and a Monster, and that was breakfast.
Right.
Let's go sell some stuff. Where now it's, we're getting older, and I want to get a grip on it now before I am 50 or 60, and now we're having issues and back pains, and I see it in people older than me, and I was like, I can't let that happen to me. And rounding 30 now is you start feeling those things.
Right.
So it's time to get a grip on it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Those are the things that are more important to me now, rather than the materialistic things like you were saying.
Right.
I still love my toys.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Gotta have shit to ride.
Right.
But that sounds dirty. but yeah, health is time.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have time if you don't have health.
Right.
Time runs out.
And the money, like you said, you can make the money, but if you make all this money, you see, like I always joke when I used in my last job, I used to drive a lot of really expensive cars because I handled cars for a lot of the manufacturers. So I'd be in, anything you could think of, Aston Martins, Lamborghinis. But I always joked when I would get out of them, I'm saying, by the time I'm old enough to afford this car, I won't be able to get in or out of it, which is,
need a lift.
Yeah, which is what a lot of people do, and they allow themselves to, especially it seems like, maybe it's just, that's what I've always been around, but sales in general, a lot of people start living really well and they have money and they start to, have the finer things in life, whether that be going to expensive restaurants, having great meals, but a lot of it ends up taking a toll on their health. So then they have this money, but they don't have the health to even enjoy it.
Yep.
So I think that's great that you're doing it now in your 30s, because it becomes a lifestyle and it's easier to maintain if it's something you've always done. And then, when the kids are grown and you find yourself making the money and the kids are out of the house, that puts you only in your early 50s, which is young in my book. And then you'll have the money and the health to be able to enjoy the things you want to do.
And the time.
Yeah, and the time.
And the time. It's a good foundation. I feel like.
For sure.
Where the past life in California was great experience. But I built that business off of a shaky foundation, and that's, eventually is going to catch up. And that's a lot of why I moved back too. It's just, I knew I needed to restart. And then I figured if I'm going to restart, come back with family. But, yeah, when I'm 50, I look forward to having those toys. But for now, it's just, now I enjoy my coloring with my daughter and,
right.
Kung Fu, Panda, those things, movies, whatever it is.
Panda Express.
That too. That's only on leg day.
What do you think your goals are? What would you say your goals are for the next 10 years? Is it going to be real estate?
Yeah, definitely stay in real estate. I don't know if I'll ever quit real estate, even if, other businesses take off and I don't need to do this as my main job. I'd still stay in it for friends and family. As we all know, there's a lot of unhealthy salespeople out there, I guess we'd call it. And I just don't want them to fall in the hands of someone like that.
Right.
But next 10 years, man, it's just raise my family. Like I said, we got a 3-year-old now and another one due in a month or two. And that time I will never get back. And you just hear about people like cherish those moments, but
right.
no one really does. So to me, I just kind of look at it like when I'm 80, what will I remember? Going to this meeting or coloring with my kid.
Right.
What will she remember?
Your fancy car or
time
spent
exactly
with your kids.
Exactly. They don't care. They don't know.
No.
They
only know what you let them know.
Exactly. They think it's fancy.
Right. Yeah, that's one of my biggest things when I also did mortgages in the past, and I would notice everybody I spoke to, I would try to kind of build a rapport with them, obviously, talk to them, get to know them. I always found that was the biggest advantage, was building rapport with them. Then it didn't come down to rate, didn't come down to shopping. It came down to they like you and they want to do business with you.
Relationship
exactly. And the one thing I would always ask when I would see somebody with like this really high net worth, I always wanted to know, like, hey, what advice would you give to somebody that like me that's young and starting out? And 9 times out of 10, the answer from every single person with these high net worths was, I wish I would have spent more time with my kids when they were growing up.
Yep.
And that kind of resonated with me, where I thought, these people have money. They have everything they could want. That's the one regret they have. Yep. Almost every single one of them was not spending time with their kids when they were young.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
no, I heard even from another realtor, and she probably doesn't want me to say her name, so I won't. But she was on a panel, and she's been in real estate forever, and she's extremely successful. And before she did the panel, she asked her kid, like, what do you remember most? And she said she loved the trips. She remembers the big vacations every year. She's like, but she does remember mom wasn't around.
Right.
And I just don't want my kids to be able to say that. I was there.
Yeah.
And I would rather be there and like us, make good money and get by than be rich and not be there.
Right.
I guess, like I said, rich to me is the time spent. Can't replace that.
Right.
Money comes. I would like it to come as fast as it goes. And it has, and one day it will again. But right now it's just, help my families, if you can help 20 to 40 families a year while spending time with your family.
Yeah.
That's a win, I would say, in my book.
Yeah. Do you think real estate allows you not only the time, but allows you to actually be present? Because I notice a lot of people, especially after the pandemic, a lot of people work from home. So a lot of them are around their kids a lot. But I notice whenever I go to any activities with my kids, I see these people that are staring at their phone the entire time, and they're not even watching what their kids are doing. And you can see the kids
They're
look.
not present.
Yeah, they look for the parent. You can see them constantly looking for that validation, and they don't get it, which is sad. And those parents think they're, active participants because they're always there, but
they're not present.
Exactly.
Not present. I can't work from home. I know I need to feed my kid, but when she's there, she's more important than taking that phone call. Oh, Zillow's calling. Who cares? We're coloring. Right. I'm guilty of it. So I do have to go into the office, but I keep it short. So I still I get to spend a little bit of time with her in the morning and a little bit, in the afternoon. And there are the days where, you're showing houses till 9 o'clock at night. And there are the weekends where you're doing open houses and you're gone a lot. I guess I should say, I always feel like there aren't many parents that get to make the money I make and still spend the time I get to spend with my daughter.
Right.
So I don't know. Like I said, it's the most important thing to me. When she's in school, things will be a little bit different. We can start focusing on that sports car.
Right.
Lifted minivan. But right now she's not in school. And I even just saw another video that was saying, like, you know, your kids they're only kids for like 4 years.
Right.
That's their first experiences. Those first 4 years. After that, they've done it.
Yeah.
Most life things. Not, I mean, I guess there's other things you learn, but I don't want to
Those
miss
are the
those.
things that stick with them. Those first 4 years, I've heard something similar that says like that's the mold for how they envision their life and how they see you as a person. Like that's when you're most, they absorb the most from you.
Yeah.
And if you're not there, then you're allowing somebody else to be that, which is usually a daycare or somebody you don't know.
Yeah, no, and
we don't. Huge.
Yeah, we're fortunate enough where Sam, my spouse, Samantha, if she hears this, she'll be mad I called her Sam. She'll be mad I called her Samantha even. But she gets to stay home. And so that's another huge part is like I don't want someone else raised. I mean, I know there are situations where people can, or people are fortunate enough to have like in-home nannies. We're not there yet.
Right.
But even if we were, I don't, you know, that's just not our style. So I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just, we like to be there. And even like, you know, after a long day of work, last thing sometimes I want to do is parent, but 5 minutes into it, you realize that's the best thing you've done all day.
Oh yeah.
Was running around outside, throwing shit at each other. I don't know.
Yeah. And you'll realize
that's what happened last night.
You'll realize too, like, you know, like you said, at the end of the day, that was the best 5 minutes. Like you'll think about it as you lay down and go to bed and you're like, I'm glad I took that extra time to spend with them doing what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And you'll notice too, I mean, you have one kid now, you have one on the way. You'll notice it gets tougher as you have more too, because now you're trying to split that time, which gets really tough. I have 3. So I noticed the other day, I felt really guilty because I haven't been spending enough one-on-one time with any of them. You know, it's kind of this, we get home from work, we're racing around trying to get dinner, trying to get everybody fed. Next thing you know, it's baths, bedtime, read books. And I'm like, man, it's been a while since I've taken my son out and rode bikes with just him and I. So yeah, it's like one of those things you got to schedule time for that too, because it's important. Right.
Yeah. Especially when they're older, I can't wait to ride bikes with my kid. And we get to ride bikes now, but she doesn't, it's like the little strider bike. So she's just walking and there I am behind her walking. But one day I'll be riding with her.
Yeah, it's fun.
Can't wait. Can't wait. But yeah, 2, you know, I'm excited to see how she handles having a sibling because I know she's excited. But yeah, I am kind of nervous about the time or like one feeling less important. So like, we already got a trip to California planned to go see my buddy and Minions. They're out there, Minions and Princesses, Disneyland and all that fun stuff. But once the new baby's here, me and her will go out there and make her feel special again, you know?
Yeah.
Because obviously, you know, she's going to from what I hear, she's going to feel like she's put on the back burner while you take care of the new helpless.
The first one, especially. Because the first one
been the center of attention.
Yeah, exactly. And then as the second one, third, they've never known any difference, so they're usually pretty good. But that first one is tough.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how it'll pan out.
Yeah. So for as far as your real estate goals, I know you're on a team now. I know you've been on a couple different teams. It seems like you found a team now that really fits your lifestyle and your personality. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Do you think you'll stay on a team, or would you ever like to build your own team?
I wouldn't mind my own team. Right now, that's the least of my desires. In California, in that sales job, I had teams. I had multiple teams. And I loved it, but at the same time, too, it's like it's nice not having to help. I mean, the only other problems I have to help is people buying or selling.
Right.
I can't imagine, you know, helping people learn how to help people right now and be present with my family and build a house. So a team, you know, maybe in a couple years, there's a lot of opportunity right now, even about. So I don't even know, you know, what next year's going to look like. But I'm excited. Either way, I know it's going to be good. Both the teams I've been in, I loved them both. They've both helped me more than I could ask for in different ways, too. But I don't know. I'm excited for it. I don't know in 10 years, maybe run a team. That way I can teach people how to sell real estate and I can spend more time at, you know, field trips and other older kid stuff, whatever they do then. I don't know yet.
Everything.
But
do you think that even the team you were on before obviously didn't fit you or your personality? Do you think that you learned a lot even though it wasn't the right fit? Do you think I noticed I learned a lot of things from being in bad situations.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for them. It was a different fit for sure, but I wouldn't be here without them. They were at least patient enough to help me figure out how to start, real estate.
Right.
It was, it's not hard. It's not easy in the beginning. A lot of hoops you got to jump through. And even just like the leap of faith they took with me and the way they paid me to help me live while I learned commission sales again.
Yeah.
In a new industry. So I am thankful for them, but the new team does fit a little bit more. But even as you grow, it's like, you start thinking like, hang on, what if I was in like complete control of this? But at the end of the day, like I said, I don't know if I'm ready for that, starting a team now.
Right.
Maybe try solo agent, see how that goes. But both teams I've been on, still, I still love my first team. I still sit with my team leader, my old team leader yesterday at the team meeting.
Yeah.
So it's still good relationships. Just, you also learn more too when you kind of, I don't want to like hop team to team, but you get to learn from each one of these leaders, and it's, it's valuable information.
Yeah. All of them do stuff differently, but obviously if you have a team, majority of the time you're a successful agent and a successful business owner. So like you said, you can learn little things from each one, which if you're eventually going to open, start your own team, it's good to have all those different angles to figure it out from.
Yep.
The big talk lately has been the shift, the market's shifting, everybody gets kind of freaked out. They talk about recession. Do you think that you kind of bought yourself a little bit of, I don't know if I'd say time, but a little bit of room to breathe with setting yourself up the way you did, with not having a huge mortgage, not having huge car payments? Do you feel like that kind of takes a lot of weight off you with a shifting market?
I honestly never even thought about it that way, but yeah, I'm not worried. It's sales. There's always ups and downs.
Right.
And in 12 years of this, I feel like the only area that matters, the only market that matters is the one between our ears, what we think it is.
Right.
If we think it's going to suck, it's going to suck. If we think it's going to be good, it's going to be good. So choose the way you want to look at it and move forward. Work harder than the guy next to you.
Right.
And I'm guilty of that, because sometimes I want to go home and color. But, work hard and be happy. We said yesterday at the team meeting, what are we going to do about the shift? Double down on finding new business and stay happy.
Right.
Rather than sit here and bitch and moan about.
Dwell on it.
Yeah. Oh, it's, there's, what do they say, market corrections or decreases.
Right.
Or price decreases. It's just part of the game. Still a seller's market. We're still going to sell houses. People are still going to buy. Everyone just needs to take a deep breath, calm down, and do what they can to help their clients.
Yeah. And everything's cyclical. I mean, if you look at anything, you're never going to have something that goes straight up. It just doesn't work that way. No. You're always going to have corrections and dips and slow times. And one of the things that I always heard when I was in the military, one of the things they would say is embrace the suck.
Yes.
Because it kind of shapes you. Like those times that suck are kind of where you learn the most, as long as you take it for what it is and not dwell on it, but you actually take it as a learning lesson, and it just makes you that much stronger when it shifts again.
You got to suck to succeed. That sounds dirty again.
It's true.
But you got to. You got to, what do they say, crawl before you ball? I don't know. You just got to go through it. It's not a big deal. Just keep, I don't know.
Right. Just keep doing what you do, and it'll all work out.
Yeah, exactly. Stay happy and take care of people.
Right.
Help other people solve their problems, and your problems get solved.
True.
Keep it simple.
I like it. So now, as far as marketing, that's kind of the thing I like about you too, is you market yourself a little bit differently than a lot of realtors. I mean, you don't spend ton of time on socials. You don't, pay for leads. You don't do all these things. You don't kind of play a person that you're not. You don't dress up in a suit and go out and pretend to know everything. You just kind of market yourself as who you are. Have you found that that's the easiest way to do it and the best results?
I guess it's arguable with who you ask, but for me, I did I got over 50 ties in the dresser. I don't think you've seen me in one, but I did the dress up game for a while, and I'd still there's an occasion where you like dressing up, but I feel like with me, there's just no smoke or mirrors. What you see is what you get, and if you're not going to like me in the beginning because I didn't dress up, I just look at it like if there's an issue at a inspection or appraisal or anywhere, if you're judging me on the way I look, I can only imagine how you're going to handle that problem.
Right.
So to me, I kind of weed out, trim the fat, get rid of the. I still get lots of crazy, but
right.
but I don't know. It's just me is me. I'm working on the social media presence. I just brought a lady in, Kim Holson back. Actually, Kim Morgan now. She's married, and she's good at the social media, so she's gonna help me with that. I'm a horrible millennial, and that's never been my thing. But she's gonna hold me accountable, and we're gonna do at least one post a day. I don't like buying leads.
Right.
Why are we gonna pay someone when it's out there for free?
Yeah.
I guess it is easier, but who am I? Everyone's got a different life by design, and this is just mine.
Right.
But I so far so good. I mean, not everyone survives in real estate 5 years, so I think it's working.
Right. Yeah.
So far.
Say most don't survive in 1 year.
Yeah. 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 I think the 2-year fallout's like 98% or 97. So
yeah.
Past that one.
Right. Do you think that that's part of your, I look at that as a measure of success, as being able to market yourself as who you are, because success is obviously doing what you want to do and feeling like you're in control. And by doing that, you kind of take the control back. You're not, you don't have to morph into this other person before you come to work every day and pretend to be something you're not. Do you feel like that's part of your success?
Mentally, it's easier in my head.
Yeah.
Be I don't know how some people do it. But I don't know. To me, dressing up is like armor. You know what I mean? You dress up and everyone just like thinks you got all your shit together.
Right.
I even had a situation with one of my good buddies. He had white pants on. I've never had white. I don't even wear white socks. He had white pants on, and a new hire was coming in, just starting in real estate. And later on in the day, she's like, "He's got his shit together." Like, he does well, but man, he's a great time too.
Right.
But, it's just that perception.
Right.
That's what I feel like all this business is perception, and rather than trying to get people to perceive me for something I'm not, it's just like what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, there's someone else out there that would maybe you would click with.
Right.
But if you do click with me, cool, let's go. At least you know what you get up front.
Yeah. And like you said, perception. It's like, I forget what it is. 98% of reality is perception, which again comes back to mindset. The way, if you perceive the world as awful and everybody's out to get you and the sky is falling, that's your reality, Whereas if you perceive it as like, hey, this is an opportunity, this is great, I get to be myself, I get to help people, then that's your reality. So it's, like you said, perception's huge. Yep.
And just, I don't know, just to me, it's easier if I just stay consistent with who I am. I don't change who I am from client to client. They might get a cleaner version, a little calmer version, depending. Right. But that's still me.
Right.
It's
just the professional you.
Yes. Just might not hear the language.
Yeah.
You know your audience.
Exactly. Yeah.
But be you.
Yeah.
Be
I agree.
Unapologetically you.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, would you lose?
And to me, that's, if I'm going to do business with somebody, I want to do business with somebody that's confident and knows who they are. I see a lot of people that 1 week they're a cowboy, next week they're, it's like the village people. Yeah. They don't, it's like they're not even comfortable with who they are. They don't even know who they are yet. And I'm going to trust them with, a huge transaction. That's kind of frightening. So I'd rather know up front who this person is, who I'm dealing with, than have to figure it out.
And that's my first team lead. That was one of the first things he drilled into me. It was like, just be authentic, be who you are.
Right.
And when I first started real estate, I thought, that's the key to success. Just be you, unapologetically you. 5 years in now, I come to realize it's authenticity is a rare thing, and not even just real estate, in the world.
Yeah.
With the way social media and all that fun jazz. Caught myself, but he really drilled that in my head. Is just be authentic, be who you are. Right. And even though that's different than what I think he kind of thought where I would go, I think he's still probably proud that I am who I am.
Right.
Which
is really a testament to him as well, because I know who you're talking about, and he is an older gentleman. So, typically for somebody of that demographic, that age, to be that open-minded and still feel like, hey, you're probably 100% different than I am and how I was raised and I grew up, but still says like, hey, just, you got to be yourself. I mean, that's kind of a big testament to him.
Yeah. Be you. That's when you're talking about how there was a different fit. I remember the moment I realized that we were helping the combat vets on the motorcycles. You know, we were riding motorcycles all weekend. And he's like, what'd you do? And I was like, played motorcycles. What'd you do? And he's like, I was at choir practice. Doesn't sound fun at all.
Right.
But that's him.
Right.
Yeah, and he loves it. And it's how he's always been. And he definitely helped me learn, because when I first started, I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. And in real estate, I thought, I was still dressing up and trying to fit the mold that I thought people would want. And there were other agents that came in, and one day I was just like, you know what, let's just be me.
Right.
And if they don't like it, F them.
Yeah. And your team now. I mean, your team now is great also. And there's a lot of...
they help me a lot with the confidence too.
Different people on that team, you know what I mean? Different backgrounds, different beliefs, but they're all themselves as well. Even, your Jen obviously is awesome, and she's Jen,
Yeah.
She does a great job. She's very successful, runs a successful team, but she's definitely knows who she is.
Yes, Jen is an animal, but she's unapologetically Jen.
Yeah. She gets it done.
Jen is Jen. Jen does a great job. One day I hope to shit as much business as she does. I remember one time she came in and saw I had the whole board covered, and she's like, this is bullshit. Like laughed, and then it was like a day or two later, she had like over $1 million in real estate listings. I was like, that was humbling. Like I thought I was,
right,
hot shit over here, and then she comes in and overnight, list over $1 million in real estate. So she's something else. Jen is definitely someone to look up to, and I've learned so much from her and her team, and I'll forever be thankful for all my team, everyone in real estate that I've run across, even you, believe it or not.
Well, thank you. What an honor. But that's my thing with Jen too, that I notice is, like you said, mindset. And it seems like that's something that's in their household. I've only met her husband a couple times through real estate transactions, but he seems awesome too. He's just very laid back, very, just go with the flow, and everything will work itself out. And both of them seem extremely humble for, what success they probably have and what they've built. But they both seem very humble, very honest, and just good, hardworking people, which is a good fit.
Yeah, they're a power couple, that's for sure. They do well. They just got another investment property. One day when I grow up, I want to be like them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, their kids are older and shit. They can work longer, work more, but they definitely do well for themselves, and they're authentic, genuine people. What you see is what you get.
Yeah, and the other thing too, I was just thinking about that when we were talking about that, is kind of knowing who you are. Real estate's kind of one of those long businesses where you take forever to build that pipeline, and then obviously you're packing the pipeline on one end, waiting, and then at some point it starts to kind of drip out of the other end, which is business. And I just think about the realtors that have been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years, and they don't know who they are. It's just kind of odd when a client, let's say they come back to you in 10 years, they're still going to get
me,
Garrett McCraight.
Yeah.
They're not going to be like, well, who's this guy now? He's, shows up in a Lamborghini and a white suit with, capri pants and loafers.
Oh, he got a new Harley.
Yeah.
That'd be it.
The upgraded Garrett.
Yeah. Now he's got bags. Don't have to wear that backpack no more.
Gray hair.
Yeah. Hopefully not. But yeah. I don't know. I never even thought about it being like 35 years. There are like the people I know that like in that 30-year mark, they're pretty, I don't know if people want to say their names, but like people like Bill Park and Robin Love, those are authentic people.
Right.
They've been in the game forever. But that's also too where I think that they have that repeat business,
right.
And that's, to me, or if you're not doing social media or paying for your leads, you have to just treat people right, and then they'll refer their friends and family,
right,
and then they'll use you again when they buy or sell. It's free. Just be a good person.
Yeah. And it's the power of attraction. I mean, because if you look at it, and I don't know if they want to say their names either, obviously, I mean, it doesn't hurt.
Maybe
it's
we'll
all
beep it
complimentary, but like Robin Love, for example, I notice she's awesome. Powerhouse realtor, great person, active in the community, great family. But I notice even in her closings, her clients are great. You know what I mean? And just like very similar to her, which I don't know if that's because those are referrals she's built, which I'm sure she has, but it's like she attracts these people that are also the same, humble, successful, very nice.
Like attracts like.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking back at some of the clients I brought in. You're like, oh shit, he is crazy. I'll work with anyone who's honest and ethical.
No, I met your aunt. She was awesome.
Oh man, that was a fun one. Thank God that was a family transaction.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So would you say, was that not only being family, because I know that can be challenging sometimes, but it was also an extremely challenging deal. Do you think you learned a lot from that deal?
Yeah. No, I even had first with that deal. Being in sales 12 years, I still had a first. And that was just putting my foot down pretty hard. But it needed to happen.
Yeah.
Other side was just getting aggressive. And to me, negotiation is win-win. They win, we win, everyone's happy. It's Keller Williams. They're the one taught me this shit.
Right.
Win-win or no deal. And that just always made sense to me. And this side wasn't going there. But at the end of the day, it is win-win, and everyone's happy. We got them through it. Luckily, it was family. I think because it was family, I might have been, is it biased maybe?
Yeah.
Or let a little emotions get into it.
Right.
But they stuck with me, and we got the deal done, and had some first, learned some new stuff.
Yeah. Pete got to go deliver his pizzas.
Oh, with the hat. He's got a coon hat. It's like, man, I wish I lived down there just so I could get
I didn't get to see that, but that sounds
I did
amazing.
the listing appointment. I said, what's this for? She said, that's Uncle Pete's.
It's pizza hat.
Where are they? I said, hey, where's it delivers pizza? That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
So he's a big guy too. I mean, you saw with a
Yeah.
big beard.
Yeah.
So you just got this
Daniel
Paul
Boone
Bunyan.
showing up with the pizza.
Oh God, if that doesn't make your night, I don't know what will.
That's awesome.
But yeah, good people. I almost even called her yesterday just to because it was just to talk to her again.
Right.
We stay in touch, but obviously with the real estate transaction, you're talking almost every day, every other day, at least once a week.
Yeah.
But it was fun for I think us and them. I mean, as fun as they can be. Everyone knows that selling and buying isn't the most joyous.
Right. Do you think that's also kind of like dealing with family, like you said, like that's your aunt who you probably don't speak to often, but because of the real estate transaction, you're probably closer to her now and you probably know more details about her life. Is that something that you think you should keep moving forward, not just with her, but with clients in general? Like as far as like, doing, I don't know if weekly works or monthly, but like reaching out to each of them and just kind of letting them know you're thinking about them, letting them know you're there.
Clients become friends.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I mean, if you just take care of them like friends, take care of everyone like friends or family. Our relationship with Jane did grow. And I even told her after this, I learned so much about even our family, like our grandparents, just from showing our houses and talking. Yeah. We have the relationship growing up. Then when, once I'm an adult, now she's raising her kids, it's like everyone goes separate ways. But we got, I think, closer through the transaction. But then there's also clients I met through cold calling where it's like they're having us over for family dinner. Like my family's there with their family. They've invited us to Cedar Point. Just take care of people. Yeah. And it's all, I think, and Mr. Park taught me that. It's all about relationships. Right. So just focus on those. Make friends. Treat people the way you want to be treated to. All that stuff we learned in kindergarten.
And when you say like the win-win thing, like that to me, I know from that deal in particular, because I remember the deal. But yeah, like you said, one side trying to basically squeeze blood from the other side, which to me, that's just a bad deal. You have to always be able to remove yourself from the transaction and understand that these are real people on both ends of it. You're not hurting the realtor. This isn't a business thing that you're trying to leverage. You're affecting other people's lives. Yeah. So whether or not they're your client, you need to think of their needs and what they're trying to get out of the deal.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, we all got, they're trying to get paid. I'm trying to get paid. They're trying to move. We all got the same goal in mind. Right. Let's just work together to make it happen smoothly. Yeah. I know there's bumps in the road and everyone doesn't see eye to eye, but if everyone just kind of kept the other side in mind, I think it would just help. And that just wasn't happening there. I even had words with their broker. Said, "Oh, it just must be different culture over there."
Right.
Had to get a few blows in, but
Right.
at the end of the day, they got what they wanted. We had to spend a little bit more money, but not much with the grand scheme of things, and everything buffed out. But
and it all comes back too, right? I mean, like you think about, let's say you list a house again, and that realtor is one that submits an offer to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're probably gonna think twice, right, before you accept an offer from that realtor, which now their attitude is now affecting their clients in the future without those clients even being aware of it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I obviously wouldn't rule out that offer, but I definitely would share that story with my clients. Say, hey, last time I did a transaction with ABC, it got ugly.
Right.
It got ugly.
Right. So you're building relationships not only with the clients, but also with
realtors. Yeah. Just treat people the way you want to be treated. Just be a good human.
Yeah. The
It's not that
realtors you're
hard.
probably more likely to run into again than the clients. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at least the good agents,
right.
Bad ones, they won't survive the shift.
Right.
The recession. But, no, you got a point. Don't, you never know who you're going to deal with later on.
Right.
And you never know what other people are dealing with. You don't know the whole story. So just treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
It's like it's
treat
simple.
everybody the same. Like I forget what it was, but I saw some years and years and years ago. It said, you can't tell the difference between a bum and a billionaire. And
Treat them the same.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if you run into a billionaire on the street, you probably wouldn't even know they were a billionaire. I mean, look at Warren Buffett. He lives in a pretty modest house, but the guy's worth
Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even was that meme, whatever the hell you call him, with Adam Sandler. He looks homeless, walking down the street in a jar of pickles. Like, that's just
right.
And he's got money.
Yeah.
But why? You don't need to flaunt it.
Yeah.
Just
He's
be you.
famous, so you know his face, but most people that are billionaires, you wouldn't know him on the street.
No, that's a lot of why I stopped dressing up too. Is because you're dressing up when you work for someone else. I work for me and my clients. So if they don't like me because I wore a T-shirt and rode my motorcycle to the showing, then like I said, we're gonna have issues later on.
All right, so Garrett, I guess my last question for you. First off, thanks for coming in and sharing. I know it's a lot of personal information, but I think it's really cool because it gives everybody a chance. Obviously, a lot of these things I know about you already. That's why I can ask you the questions. But I think it's really cool to be able to share those things with other people because, like you said, clients that you're just meeting for the first time don't really know you. It gives them a chance to kind of see the insight and, that you are this good guy, you're a family guy, and you're just trying to do the right thing by everybody. How would somebody contact you if they wanted to get a hold of you?
Cell phone. Give me a call. 734-740-5131. I don't know any of my socials.
How about an email address?
Email. Right now it's Garrett, Garrett, at Red Door Realty, grp.com.
Got it.
A short one.
And just for those listening, I know from experience typing that email address gets tough because it's red and then another D because it's door and then another R because it's realty. So it's double D, double R,
double O,
grp.com.
Lots of doubles in there.
Yeah.
GARRET.
And socials are soon to come. That's something you're working on?
Yep, we're working on it now. I got, like I said, she's actually who got me in sales over 12 years ago at a shoe store.
Yeah,
It was
her.
late sales. But she's all about social media. And I know that's the way the future is, and it's free. And it's to me, it's just like, we get fooled by it. But if I just be authentically me on there, then it's just an extension. So I do have plans to grow that. I know I need to. I just need her to push me.
Yeah. So I agree. I think that's the same thing too. Like you just said, it has to be authentic.
Yep.
If you make it real, then people enjoy it. If it's the same cookie cutter, outline and the same thing that you see on your feed nonstop, then it's not worth clicking on.
Yeah. Look at my open house. Come see me. It's do something different. I don't know. Just be you. Have fun.
Exactly.
Be happy.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you sharing everything with us.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Got it.